All right. Let's do some competitive Total War Warhammer. This button. This button. This button. This button. Okay. Webcam. There we go. All right, guys. How's it going here today? Close that. Open this. Open that. Go. All right, so today we're going to be playing some Total War Warhammer competitive play. We're going to do a best of 7 between HjalleNalle and Hadres. And the way this is going to work is it's just as if we were the finals of Warpstone Cup, rather than doing a best of 5, though, we're just going to do a best of 7. It's just these two. I wanted to get some cool competitive content onto the channel. I've been doing a lot of Bannerlord, and I'm going to be doing a Bannerlord stream tomorrow that we're going to be doing a giveaway of Bannerlord itself. So stay tuned for that. But for right now, let's play. Let's have some fun. We're going to go over our map seeds real quick. So we're going to be playing on Dock Karaz first, then Oakenhammer, followed by the Silver Plains, the Wasteland, Tower of Hoeth, Bloodpine Woods, and lastly, Cairnwoods. If you'd like to know what our map seeds are, you can find them in the description below. And before we get started too, if you do want to get involved in the competitive tournament arena scene, then please go ahead and join Turin's competitive Discord in the description below. I pull from that Aerocrastic, my son Herbert Walker, Turin. That's where we both populate our ECL and our WCCL. If you want to eventually join into the Everchosen, we vet you through this process. You know, you go and you play through a bunch of different tournaments. We get an idea of if you're a really good person and you have good sportsmanship and you get along with other people and you're trustworthy. Because keep in mind, Everchosen Invitational is a invitational. We invite people because they have good sportsmanship, they are trustworthy, because it is a huge boon that Creative Assembly gives us to allow all these players to play the game early. And we need to make sure that these people are trustworthy. We're having them sign NDAs. We can make sure that they don't, fuck that up. So, if you want to get involved, that's how you do it. I'm good, Marcus Bird. How are you doing? What's up, Cooper Keith? Oh, one sec. Okay, whew! They wanted to blow your guys' eardrums out with that one. Alright, so we're ready to get our first battle started. It's going to be Hadres on the Dark Elves versus HjalleNalle on the High Elves. Now, this will be a very fun little fight here. From a lore perspective, this is probably the penultimate grudge match next to the Dwarfs and the High Elves, really, right? After the Sundering, the big civil war between the High Elves and the Dark Elves, there's this huge split. But prior to the Sundering, the High Elves were the High Elves. Elves were elves across the board. There weren't high, dark, and wood. There was only elves. In the time of Venarian, there were only elves. And after the Sundering, you have the beginning of the High Elves, the Dark Elves, and the Wood Elves, because post the War of the Beard, when the huge act was taken out by the successor of Calor II that said, hey, we need to bring all the elves back to elfdom, back to Ulthuan. The elves of Athel-Loren said, no, we're fine here. We'll start our own splinter nation. And you have actually a number of other elves. You got to remember at the time, elves were all over through Marienburg and Altdorf. You had the sea elves that were the seafaring portion of the High Elf Society, more or less, if you want to think of it that way. But a very fun time indeed in the world. Oh man, sorry guys. Allergies. Cats. So we're jumping in here to our first match. Why is this one? There we go. Loading overload. Turning down visuals? It's not gonna do that. Satisfy the grudge. let's jump on over here to the stream itself. Do I have this? Weird. All right, so taking a look at our two armies here, we can see for Hadres, he's gone with a lot of Cold One Dread Knights here, interesting enough. Now, guys, this is not any kind of competition or tournament. This is just simply a fun best of 7 between two bros. So expect a lot of fun, meme-style, interesting builds with stuff that's kind of a little off the wall, or a lot of test builds. This is going to be a lot of fun here to kind of see these two basically practice in the live against us. But 3 Dread Knights. Now, the Dread Knights do have AP. They do suffer from Rampage if they're not the Regiment Renown version, unfortunately, but they have a lot of armor. These guys are going to be able to go toe-to-toe with a lot of the heavier armored aspects of the High Elf line. In addition, we're also going to see some Witch Elves in this force, and then 1, 2, 3 units of both Dread Spears and Bleak Swords, and then a center thing of Blades of the Blood Queen. Blades of the Blood Queen do give access to that Guardian passive, granting 15% bonus to 15% physical resist bonus to any lord or hero in range. Now, also, we're going to be seeing Crone Hellebron on her Doom Kane pimp wagon here. She's going to be spilling some blood for Kane herself. And let's see. Ooh, the fight is already underway, so we'll take a look at that kit in a little bit. And then a Sorceress of Beasts with Transformation of Katon and Flock of Doom, backline of Dark Rise Repeater crossbows. Now, for HjalleNalle, HjalleNalle, we see some Illyrian Reaver archers, a lovely Star Dragon, a Mage of High, which is pretty cool, a High Mage, and also Tyrion. The front line is going to consist of a staggered front line of 3 Spearmen, as well as 2 units of White Lions of Trace, which do have some nice physical resist, some nice missile resist, in addition to a nice good high amount of AP damage. Also some Silver Helms on the right flank and I believe the left flank here. Bulldozing, Jesus, this camera got so fast. Bulldozing right into a brace unit of Dread Spears. It's not going to be too great for those unit of Silver Helms. They're going to want to buck out of that quite quick and wild. We can see the rest of this force trying to get into melee combat as the Repeater crossbows march up the center line here. They were doing some initial shots into this unit of Tyrannok chariots, which is a good little amount of damage here. But the nice thing about Repeater crossbows is they can move around the battlefield quite quickly. They do have 115 range, so they're limited in their range, but they can still kind of do a nice amount of hit and run attacks on the dragons and other hard to crack open units. Crone Hellebron and Tyrion going right at it, trying to make that Murder Knight all over Tyrion's face, saying, hey, I want to have a blood orgy, are you down? And riding dirty right through this unit of spears, as well as the Blades of the Blood Queen come into this, giving that 15% physical resist on over to Crone Hellebron. Dread Knights bulldozing into this as well. We're about to get a Dragon Breath attack too down here pretty soon. You can see the Blood Frenzy going down over there on the White Lions as well. Ooh, nice breath attack into that Dread Knight unit, bucking them all over the place, getting a nice about 30% health loss on that one. White Lions of Trace also suffering pretty heavily from this. We can see now that the Star Dragon's jumping in here, knocking around Crone Hellebron, just pushing that Doom card across the way. She was on a West Coast Custom saying, hey, you know, Exhibit, I want a new pimp wagon. And she said, I heard you like blood, so we put a cauldron of blood dead center in your car. And you can see her trying to get away from this fight a little bit, doesn't want to get focused too hard by Tyrion and that Star Dragon. Tyrion kind of running away from this fight, looking to get around here and back into Crone Hellebron. A nice little tactic there for HjalleNalle as he tries to put a lot of pressure on Hadres' leadership. And boom! Right into the butt of Crone Hellebron, which might not be an appropriate statement, but I've said it nonetheless. The summoning of the Feral Manticore from the Transformation of Katon brings us into the fray as well. And the Mage Priest, the Mage High Elf Mage High Lore of Magic High, we've just got 2 heavy hits from Crone Hellebron, dropping to 50% health. He's going to have to get that out of there, or else that casting is going to be shut down. We see Apotheosis, and it looks like Quickening is on that character. Let me take a look. Ooh, oh god, and Fire Convocation. So there are 3 big spells on the Mage of High, and I think we've only seen Apotheosis used on Tyrion, maybe. Bowseeker kicking off there onto him, giving some good speed and vigor regeneration in this situation, trying to get out of that main fray, which has gone the way of Hadres and the Dark Elves. We can see that the Star Dragon is dead. He has fallen, and Tyrion is now below 50% health. He's got Apotheosis popped on him as well, trying to shore up some of the damage being just unloaded onto him. Crone Hellebron is quite a buzzsaw. And there was a point when she was pretty broken and she was doing just cascading amounts of damage on a huge front, and it was just disgusting. But we can see a lot of the High Elves are not fighting the good fight here as army losses start to kick in. Shatterings are all over the place of fear. No, it's just a straight up shattered over there. Oh, just going down Gaze of Cain. Now the Gaze of Cain, of course, causes a huge spike in weapon damage and some leadership bonuses, but of course your unit is then rampaged. You lose control of it. We're seeing this fight kind of hit a little bit of a stalemate. There's so much, not stalemate, sorry, a little bit of a slowdown. There are so many units on the field for the Dark Elves against the High Elves at this point that I think Hadres has got a pretty good one in the bag here. The Tyrannok Chariot's just getting focused down now by a joint fire from the Darkfire's repeater crossbows. A nice little heal down of Apotheosis on them. Tyrion just kind of kiting back around mighty Crone Hellebron here, but jumps over to the Darkfire's repeater crossbows, kind of shucking and driving through this, juking left and right, got the mad moves. Uh-oh, those Dread Knights, though, getting a good charge. Trying to get him, Oh! Another Apotheosis drop. Oh, no, Foeseeker. Helps him kind of get out of that one. He pops some NOS, knocks it into 5th gear, and pushes out of this one. I could agree with you guys on that. The conversation in chat right now is about the viability and also the integration of the White Lions of Trace into the game. Now, I do think they are competitive. They do have very specific matchups, though. They're not a come-all unit. All-comers unit is, I think, what I meant to say. Tyrion here getting focused down, jumping into the fray. Hadri saying, you know what, I'm going to take some damn Dread Knights with me. I find White Lions of Trace very good against Vampire Coast. I find them pretty strong against elements of Lizardmen builds, depending on what they are, because they do dish out a lot of cheap AP damage, and they're only 800 points. So you can actually use them to pretty good use, just depends on their matchup. They're just not meant for every single type of matchup. You really need to be very specific in what you're bringing them with. But as a whole, though, if we're taking a look at their kind of integration of the game from a tabletop perspective, I think they needed a little bit more armor. I think that the way that they're kind of put into the game is this weird shoehorned second tier of unit, where it goes Spearmen, then White Lions, and then Swordmasters and Phoenix Guard, right? But I think that they needed to kind of have White Lions be like a 2.5 or just a straight up tier 3 unit. I think that not having it like that really kind of hindered the High Elves in a lot of ways, and it made the High Elves have a really long spike of power. I'm sorry, really low spike of power until the Sisters of Avalon came to the game. They had almost no access to reliable AP until they got Sisters of Avalon. But take a look at this fight here. We can see that those these Dread Knights actually used pretty well here. 29, 98, 37 kills out of them. Pretty awesome there. And the Blades of the Blood Queen are such a strong unit. I mean, they're really good. They are Executioners, and I find Executioners to be a very awesome unit in this game. And the Blades of the Blood Queen really means that I think we need a Swordmasters of Hoeth Regiment of Renown. And if we do indeed get a High Elf DLC next, I would love to see a Regiment of Renown for Swordmasters. But this concludes our first match as the win goes to Hadres, pulling up 1-0 against HjalleNalle in this best of 7 right score. Going to Hadres. Hey, what's up, Poker Pope? Also, like, I think that another thing that the High Elves desperately need is a White Lion chariot. Their chariots, in my opinion, are just not good. And I know that Gobble King used to use them to really great execution. He was badass at it. But in my opinion, I just don't really find them very viable at all. And it's mainly because I hate chariots. There we go. Switch that to Oakenhammer for our second game, and I'll just switch this back over to here in the meantime. But I think that they need the White Lion Chariot to give them more AP punch. Give them a White Lion Chariot that is kind of like a Gore Beast Chariot. Make it a little bit slower, give it a good charge bonus, give it some AP damage. It should not have any ranged capabilities if we're going off of its tabletop variant. But almost every chariot in this game has got range, so I wonder how they'll do it. What's up, Hannah? We got Ryan Smith jumping in. That's the Mighty Flying Taco. What's up, big bad talk? So jumping into our next match, they're doing their picks and bans right now. I would love a Swordmaster Regiment of Renown that had silver shields. You know, the Lothern Skycutters and all that, I think, are more novelty cool units rather than units I think made up a bulk of the way the tabletop was. If you think about tabletop 8th edition, the White Lion Chariot was a very strong contender in that game. It had 5 toughness, I think it was. It was a pretty beastly little badass. Absolutely, dude. Thank you very much, man. God, man, my mouth's not working here. I wish it was you playing, but we'll get you and Exploding Hamster later in the week. Dude, hobby and chill it up, my bro. I'm going to actually switch into anti-glare mode. Cause my fucking head's been hurting me. And you're like in the middle of all this shit, like anytime like my head hurts or like I get like an allergy related like throat tickle, I'm like, that's it. That's it. I'm just gonna go check myself in now. That's it. I'm out. White lions are animal abuse. I'll tell you what about those White Lion Chariots. That bitch Carol Baskin wouldn't have a problem with them. Actually, crisps. A little high right now. And they're just choosing their new army. So, ooh, another grudge match for the ages. So if you think of like, you know, what are some classic matchups, right? You've got High Elves, you got Dark Elves. You got High Elves, you got Dwarfs. You got Dwarfs, you got Skaven. You got Empire and Chaos. So that is what we're going to be doing here today. Hadres is going to be playing the Warriors of Chaos versus HjalleNalle, playing, again, the Forces of Order in the Empire. And of course, if we think about the lore of this, right? The Northern Chaos Wastes, ranging down and attacking Kislev, attacking Marienburg, all the Norscan clans joining suit. Archaon, not the first ever chosen, but an ever chosen, reaping a tally across the land. You've got a Tamarkon through the east, ranging across the World's Edge Mountains into Kislev. You have all sorts of awesome action, where essentially Chaos is always fighting against Empire right now, in the kind of current timeline of Warhammer Fantasy. It used to be, you know, Chaos versus Lizardmen and High Elves. Well, mainly Lizardmen, a little bit of High Elves. And now it's kind of shifted as the power base of the world has shifted, right? As the lore of the Lizardmen and the High Elves are a more depleted race, especially after the Great Cataclysm. Vampires did more damage than Chaos. Yeah, I would agree with that. The Senate, that would be so great. So, Quasar Jake, Quasars are awesome too. Every time you look up in the sky, you see a little twinkling star, probably a Quasar. The Senate he wants a Swordmaster Regiment Renown unit called the Senate with bound chain lightning. If you want to play as Kislev, you can just go ahead and boot up Bannerlord. I think that might be... I have yet to play like Sturgia and Bannerlord, and that's, I think, the next kind of race I want to play around with. I've yet to recruit any Sturgian units. I only have Empire Battanian and Landian for the most part. Alright, both of our competitors have readied up. The map is Oakenhammer. Hadres is the Warriors of Chaos. This is HjalleNalle as Empire. We're going to see this now on Hostile Planet. Quasar Jake, he just played the High Elves. Hello there. What's up, Dr. Z? I'd say you're a little late, but you're earlier than you usually are. I'll say that. Yep, only been one match. All right, so we're setting up here onto the board. Let's take a look in a book, reading Rainbow. I'm on one today, guys. I'm sorry. Don't worry about being late, bro. I'm just giving you a hard time. Let's take a look here. Hadres' army's got a lot of Marauders, and that's a good call here. Marauders are going to be a great holdfast against the majority of the state troops of the Empire. And we're also going to see the Mirror Guard, which are a boost-up stat version of Chaos Warriors, the personal Mirror Guard of Sigvald, the Tzeentchian, disgusting Slaaneshi, I meant Slaanesh, not Tzeentchian, Slaaneshi, Pleasure Prince. Dragon Ogre of Shaggoth here, and then take a look at this little action. We're going to have a double use of Exalted Heroes in conjunction with Archaon the Ever-Chosen. One of my favorite models in the game, too, by the way. Look at that. Draugr. His model for Age of Sigmar is one of the coolest. I think that's one of the coolest things about Age of Sigmar is it's the large centerpiece models. But then we also get 3 units of Marauder Horsemen, no Horse Masters, and then 1 unit of Chaos Warhounds, and then the Gore Beast Chariot itself. Though I think that the White Lions of Trace would have similar stats to this: high AP, anti-infantry, large charge bonus, chariots. It's running a little dwarf pony. Now for Empire, for HjalleNalle, 1, 2, 3 pistol. 2 Pistoliers, 2 Outriders is what it looks like. And look, the dreaded Black Lions, the war wagons with Hellblasters, followed by 5 units of Spearmen, and then 3 units of Knights of the Blazing Sun. We're going to be seeing Boris Todbringer on his Griffin here, and already some heavy damage going into Archaon the Ever-Chosen here, unfortunately clipping off around 25% of his health, coming in hot and heavy here. Now, the Marauder Horsemen, take a look at this. Their stat line is 2220 versus the Pistoliers, which is 2014. So they will actually eat these guys up in melee combat, and they can catch them quite quickly. But look at this nice counter charge here by the Knights of the Blazing Sun, screening out those hounds, looking to stop the skirmish abilities of the Outriders. Archaon coming in here as well onto the Knights of the Blazing Sun. This is the high value unit of the Empire, so HjalleNalle wants to shut that down fast. Another little breath attack coming down here with the Burning Skull. Burning Skull does do more damage to that Burning Skull. That Burning Skull is moonwalking. Oh no, I had it wrong. The Burning Skull does more damage to lightly armored units than it does to heavily armored units. So Spearmen are a really great choice for that cast there. Wind Spell going down though and missing wildly, unfortunately, carrying on for a good amount of time. You can see the Outriders here plucking out, the Pistoliers plucking out units from the Marauders and the Mirror Guard. But I think the big all-in fight here is right in this little pocket. You've got the Outriders shooting into the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, Cascading Firecloak dropping onto him, increasing his melee defense as well as his weapon damage, giving him some nice bonuses as well. Jumping into this big fray over here, though, right onto these Reiksguard, which I unfortunately missed on the map a little bit ago. But look at Archaon just leaving a dirty trail behind him, riding dirty. Is typically using the trying to put it in the hoop like Slam, getting ready for a space jam, waiting for Boris Todbringer to land on him. But he's now below 50% health. Archaon is in a bad position. And more importantly, HjalleNalle has been able to just keep his Outriders outside of combat and do a lot of really good damage to this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. And boom! A nice Burning Skull dropping down on those Spearmen, cracking them open like a soft shell egg. I'm more of a fan of a soft boil myself. But we can also see a nice good charge in from the Knights of the Blazing Sun, slamming into the left flank of these Chaos Marauders. And if we take a look at this, these 2 pockets are really just winning the day for Yalle. They've been able to pour so much damage onto both Archaon and the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. And one big thing that Falcon taught me is, like, you want to build around a win condition. It's 1, 2, or 3 kind of heavy hitting, well comboed up units that are really the bulk of your army as far as your points investment go, but you can use them to really pressure your enemy and use them to kind of 1-2 punch things. And that's why these guys are kind of they're trying to stay together so they can really do heavy damage together. And really, by taking these 2 skirmish units they've successfully shut down Hadres' win condition. Boris Toddbringer coming in there saying, hey, this is what a handlebar mustache looks like. I don't care if you have a big old giant serpent tail. And Archaon trying to get after that ass, but Boris jumping right up into the air. I think he's got his, he's got his Rune Fang as well as his armor, so he'll be replenishing some hit points. And then a nice little grab here, the Marauders onto these Outriders, kind of forcing them to flee away, and then the Exalted Hero jumping on this Amethyst Wizard. Now, the Amethyst Wizard is, of course, the newest wizard added to the bunch, bringing the lore of death in another, I think we saw Spirit Leech. Yep, Spirit Leech dropping down onto Archaon, chunking down health out of him. I think it's just been Spirit Leeches and Outriders ripping apart Archaon all day. Boris Toddbringer there, jumping in for a little bit, saying, hey, do you know I have pigtail in my beard? And then immediately coming back up into the air, just taunting Archaon, because Archaon is more than likely bald and no bearded underneath that helmet. Knights of the Blazing Sun and Reiksguard looking to get some good charges and sweep up the remaining portions of the of Chaos here. And we also have the War Lions, Black Lions, which have been pretty much untouched this entire fight. So it looks like this one is going to be going in the way of HjalleNalle, which has been able to shut down a lot of the big scary things in Hadres' army. Uh-oh, Exalted Hero being swooped upon by Boris Toddbringer here. Saying, hey, have you ever been to the store Art of Shaving? They have a sale on beard oil. And then he's just getting out of this immediately. And Archaon is, again, almost... he's on his last little... Oh, fireball right into the Amethyst Wizard's face. Taking him down hard and heavy, down to 179 health. If the Exalted Hero or Archaon can get back onto him, it'll be a death of that Amethyst Wizard. But Archaon himself is going to be taking some shots from these Outriders and probably fall here pretty soon. More shots just kind of plucking away here into the Everchosen as the bounce power bar shifts in favor of the mighty HjalleNalle. And Hadres is going to be falling, or I guess losing this one, and it's going to even up to a 1-1 between HjalleNalle and Hadres here. This is a best of 7, so there's plenty more where this came from. Woo! Survey the battlefield here as the Reiksguard and Knights of the Blazing Bros just kind of take out the remaining Marauders here, swooping through them like a ravening plague, which I guess is not really a good joke to make at this current timeline, but still. 4 snotlings standing on top of each other. Alrighty, so HjalleNalle getting the win there. Let me go ahead and push that up to 1. Guys, Minority Report is on Netflix, and I can't wait to watch it again. I fucking love that movie. Alright, so we can see again, these guys didn't do a lot of damage by killing units. They did a lot of damage by chipping away at both the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth as well as Archaon the Everchosen. Same thing with the Black Lions. The Hellblaster the entire time was bucking right into him the whole time. Just every shot bouncing right off that Shaggoth. You know, I did almost throw up, don't worry. It's fine. But the Pistolers got some good damage in there too as well. Hadres was able to do a lot of damage to the line troops though, using his Marauders and the Mirror Guard. I was not able to follow that Gorebeast Chariot, unfortunately, but the Marauder Horsemen were shut down a little too quickly. And that, I think, gave a huge edge to HjalleNalle and allowing his skirmish cab to just kind of have free reign over the entire battlefield. Alright, so Silver Plains is next. No greenskins yet. Is it the Silver Plains? Yes, it's the Silver Plains. Alright, guys. Yeah, Chris, they were shut down very quick. They were, the Warhounds and one unit, excuse me, was shut down by the, the Knights of the Blazing Sun very fast, and I think the Reiksguard took care of one of the other two. Tomb Kangs! Yep, the Silver Plains is next. They're doing their picks and bans right now. They're in a Discord channel together, so I am not able to see what they are picking and banning. Glad to be out. Oh, Sarmation, you dirty bastard. I can tell you guys, though, it is very nerve-wracking having allergies to cats, living with 2 cats, and being in the middle of a pandemic lockdown. Like, there's days I wake up, and also, like, in the middle of Southern California's, like, dusty-ass Polony spring. It's not a good combo. I'll wake up and be like, why can't I breathe? Why can't I breathe? And I have to pop a fucking allergy pill, or else I fucking die. Cats are not the best. Dogs are the best. Fact. No, Dak, I have a downstairs gym. And if you've not ever used resistance bands in your life, holy shit, use resistance bands. It'll fuck up your house. I want to, Sarmation. Cats need more AP. Yeah, I mean, Tony, I'd say that's probably kind of how mine are. You can actually listen to the videos prior to me living where I'm living and now, and you can hear, like, a nasally difference. Like, I sound a little more nasally here. I might be, Gojira. Chris, that's not like something you take up like crocheting. Insanity workouts. No, I bought like a bunch of little foam interlocking mats. I bought a medicine ball, and I have a shit ton of resistance bands, and I have some dumbbells. So, oh, and I have a 25 kilo what's it called? Kettlebell too. Just smash out a couple bicep curls in the middle of the stream. Well, Chris, I am wrong guy. All right, so we're looking at Hadres on Bretonnia and HjalleNalle on Warriors of Chaos on the Silver Plains. No, 25 kilos. So what? 60 pounds? 50 some pounds? 25 times 2.2. So times 2, 2.2, so 55 pounds. It's also nice that the other guy that I do Olympic weightlifting with, he just lives with his mom, and he has a whole bunch of plates and a barbell. So I'll go over to his place once a week, and we'll squat or deadlift really heavy. So at least I'm staying like on top of that strength, and it's not like dropping down. Work out his leg. Are you fucking kidding me? I can't buy jeans that don't like it's a fucking problem, man. This gifted ass of mine. Dude, I wish I could wear tracksuits. They're ridiculously expensive in the US. Like, if I wanted to buy an Adidas tracksuit, it'd be like 180 bucks. I'm not even fucking around. The jacket's like 120 alone. They're just setting their armies up here. Again, it's Hadres' Bretonnia and HjalleNalle as the Warriors of Chaos. Dak, imagine if I just had like an actual like legs cam, just one that's always just aimed at my crotch. But I think it's in over here. There we go. There. Here's my weightlifting singlet. You know? Usually everyone wears like purple one, or I'm sorry, like black. Like that's the thing. Like when you go to a weightlifting competition, everyone steps up there with like these black singlets. Like mine's fucking purple. I think I've got a video of me in it. I don't have anything recent, unfortunately. No, it's purple, bro. You can't tell from the camera, but it's definitely purple. It has like bits of fucking like, I didn't know when I bought it. I was like, it just looks like a matte purple online. When I bought it though, and it came to me, I was like, man, this has kind of got like, it's basically like, it's not sparkly, but it definitely like has a shimmer to it. I was like, fuck. All right, so we have loaded into our map here. They're just getting set up, and it is going to be... Is it going to be a buffet of horses? It is going to be a buffet of horses. So let's go ahead and jump on over here. So HjalleNalle versus Hadres. It is 1-1 right now. HjalleNalle is going to be playing the Warriors of Chaos versus Hadres on Bretonnia. So we are going to see some Chaos Marauders in the center. Just hold the line. 1, 2, 3, 4 units of them. But look at this. We're going to get some Chaos Knights. We're going to get the Swords of Chaos. We're going to get Archaon with the Swords of Chaos. We're also going to get... Oh, hold on. These. We're also going to get 2 units of Chaos Knights with Lances. And 2 units of Chaos Warhounds with Poison. Now, the nice thing here, I can see what Jalle is doing. He's going to use these Warhounds of Poison to screen out Cav and get more opportunistic charges with them, or at least threaten backline. So they've got a multi-pronged use. We're going to see 2 units of Marauder Horsemen. Now this is all going to be versus Hadres' force of peasant mobs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wow. 2, 4, 5 units of peasant bowmen. 2 with fire arrows. 3 with fire arrows. Followed by a backline of 3 mounted yeoman archers and knights errant, questing knights, and then another unit. So 2 questing knights, 1 knight errant, and then oh man, 3 questing knights, which is good because the big thing with the questing knights, of course, is their heavy AP damage and they're immune to psychology. That's going to be their huge boon in this fight. They're going to be able to crack open those Chaos Knights pretty well. In addition to, they would have done a lot of damage to just Chaos Warriors. I like Questing Knights in this matchup a lot. Did you fucking... You wish that was the case, Dak. Me just making it rain purple onesies over here. Like customized, personalized onesies. We also have King Lowen Leonkar, and who is our... It's probably... Oh, actually, Damsel of Beasts with Transformation of Cadon and Curse of Onrayer. And the Blessed Field Trebuchet already shooting down range here, knocking into these Marauder Horsemen. What's up, Borducali? doing some good initial damage. Mounted Yeomen trying to get into range there as well. Now the Mounted Yeomen, in this case, they have a speed of 92 versus the speed of 90 of the Marauder Horsemen. So they'll be able to both outrange and outrun them. So the Mounted Yeomen can actually do a little bit more damage against the Horsemen than it would be normal. See these forces just kind of moving up slowly here. The Blessed Field Trebuchet still got its target set. Oh, it's now switched over to a good target in the Swords of Chaos. Now, if you don't know, this is the Regiment of Renown unit that was added not too long ago, but long ago. And it gets this special unit, the Apocalyptic Charge. Ability range 70 meters, 24% charge speed, and increase to its own speed. So it's going to really help things out, and it's going to be moving down that line pretty quickly. It also gets the Guardian passive, so it's going to stick with Archaon the entire time. So it's basically like saying you're having aspiring champions as Chaos Knights, more or less. Begin you force at the gym. You're not wrong. Some shots going wild here into these Marauder Horsemen. Left flank now finally making contact here. Like I was saying, those Chaos Warhounds hitting into these Mounted Yeomen, catching them and poisoning them so they can't get out of the fight as well. You have some peasant mobs running into that. Oh man, these Swords of Chaos just rolling right through that peasant mob, then jumping over here into this unit of peasant bowmen before coming right back into this Mounted Yeoman unit. A nice little good like multi-charge there. You've got this unit of these two units of Quest Knights jumping onto the Chaos Knights with Lances. Now Chaos Knights with Lances have a higher charge bonus than your normal Chaos Knight. They're not meant for persistent combat. They're meant to constantly be charging and cycle charging. Leaving Sword of Ruin dropping down on those Chaos Knights, helping out that weapon damage as well as that missile damage as well, but sort of Corone in the area around them, reduce nav melee defense and armor drastically. But we can still see that the Swords of Chaos are over here going dirty, riding into things. You've got Marauders going to start pinning this unit over here. The back line for the Bretonnians, for Hadres, is still pretty much intact here. You've still got some units of Peasant Bowmen, Archers shooting into stuff. You've got the Blessed Field Trebuchet still online. This unit is going to come back in here and probably rally, but take a look, man. We do have some Chaos Knights. They're going to bulldoze right through this unit. Oh, man, knocking Frenchmen all over the place. Skull capes and everything going wild. Lowen Leonkar has had to retreat out of this fight, and we can see that this unit of Chaos Knights with Lances is still in pretty good shape. With this one, oh, these are Swords of Chaos, I'm sorry. With this one, oh, what the hell, where's the other one? Maybe it got completely shut down and I'm just drunk. Well, either way. Purple jumpsuits, yes! Purple is actually my favorite color. More Peasant Bowmen here shooting now into these Marauder Horsemen. You have got the Transformation of Cadon bringing them down onto these Knights that were trying to shut down the Blessed Field Trebuchet. A good little call there. And units all the way in the back. Mounted Yeomen Archers dealing with these Chaos Warhounds of poison. And these Peasant Mobs chasing down these Chaos Marauders. Oh man, there's a noise outside. It's going to shit on me. Another Transformation of Cadon coming down, and now Warhounds and Chaos Knights are charging onto this Blessed Field Trebuchet, but last minute kind of turn to meet the charge of these questing Knights, and Lowen dropping in down and dirty onto this as well. Stand Your Ground has been activated on and Stand Your or Die, so both have their stand abilities activated with their leadership and melee defense bonuses. Lion Shield, Bowseeker, Stand Your Ground, all have been tripped off on King Lowen Leonkar as he tries to get onto Archaon. They're trying to get some good damage onto the leadership elements, but Lowen is really low in health right now, man. Like, he is well below 25%. Well, not well below, but he's there. And he is just taking some damage hot and heavy. Trying to get out of that fight. Is getting hit pretty damn hard by Archaon. Every shot from him just doing tons of damage. I was going to say, does he have his sword? He does have a sword on him, but it was not activated in that little fight there. Still have the Damsel of Beasts, looking to get some power reserves from the power zone stocked up here. And Lowen jumps down yet again, trying to shut down the Swords of Chaos, which are buffing up this front line. Leaving Sword of Ruin on them, but Curse of Anur and the Sword of Corone knocked down as well, trying to knock out the 15% physical resist bonus that it is giving Archaon. Archaon, though, hunting down Lowen Leonkar, Does he have his sword? No, he just has the same stacks as usual. Lowen trying to get back up in the air. He's being hounded by Archaon the Ever-Chosen, and he's just coming right back into him, right back into him. He cannot get up a deck in the air. Can it happen? Will it happen? Oh, 680 health. He's replenishing slowly. Popping Foe Seeker to try and get some distance between him and Archaon, but he's right on his ass. The whole time, like, that Nissan Skyline is no match for the GTR as it just kind of jumps right on top of him, keeping him right in his tracks there. Oh, man. The last pocket of Chaos here as the balance of power is actually shifting in the favor of Chaos here. We can see that HjalleNalle's Chaos is working very well against Hadres' Bretonnia. Bretonnia, though, has had a lot of really great answers for a lot of what Hadres has brought to the table. I'm sorry. Hadres had a lot of great answers for what HjalleNalle has brought to the table. Oh, man. So he is taken up. He is broken. So I believe that this might start to be it, as all leadership is starting to fail in the Bretonian line. Balance of power bar shifting, army losses kicking in, and HjalleNalle takes it 2-1 now against Hadres. Woo! Depends on the situation, Ignis. But, so taking a look at Hadres' army, I did really like the use of the questing knights. And the mounted yeomen, I could see what their use was. It was to really kind of combat mounted horse masters, mounted marauder horse masters, marauder horsemen. I understand where that was going with. But I think what would have helped in this case is 1 unit of Grail Knights. Just one. Or 2 units of Knights of the Realm rather than the Knights Errant. And maybe less units of Archers. The Archers overall, 2, 11, 2, 25, 14. You had a lot of high armor damage coming out from HjalleNalle, and I think that what Yalle said, well, he's going to expect large beasts, he's going to expect Chaos Warriors, I'm going to go Chaos Knights, and I'm going to basically take advantage of the point that there's not a lot of anti-large in Hadres' army at all. In fact, there was none. I can't remember if Lowen has any, but outside of that, there was no anti-large to really help shut these guys down. And the Swords of Chaos staying next to Archaon kept them both in really great health the entire time. Cascading Fire Cloaks, as well as Flaming Swords of Ruin, helped out the durability of both of those guys. But great game nonetheless here. HjalleNalle pushing up here. Oop. Left score. And next one up is the Wasteland. Oh, there it is. It's interesting to say who would win between Lowen Leoncoeur and Karl Franz. Because Karl Franz is not the embodiment of anything special. End times excluded here, guys. Lowen Leoncoeur is a Grail Knight. He's supposed to be, the best Grail Knight in, well, I guess the penultimate Grail Knight next to the Green Knight. But, yeah, exactly what Crisp said. Lowen is a really old Grail Knight. Franz is still just a human under all the enchanted arms and armor. And a Grail Knight is supposed to be like this one-man army, this super soldier, this big badass. Like, so I would imagine that Lowen could beat Franz in a one-on-one duel. Honestly, they're both on their mounts with no magic weapons. Who do you think? On their mounts or just at mount? Like so is it Beakus versus Deathclaw or whatever claw? I still think it's Lowen. I think even with Galmaraz, it would be Lowen. I can't remember if Karl Franz kills any greater demons in the end times, but Lowen has an awesome... I think, for Bretonnia getting shafted as bad as it did in the end times, it had one of the best send-offs. The Tomb Kings was terrible. It was like, nah, you blow up Cetra, and then I take your armies. And then you have a retcon story. You have like an after-the-fact story about him and Kolek and Cetra fighting. That's not actually in the end times, guys. It's in like an aside story. So Lowen, though, has a badass end time scenario where it's basically after the great civil war in Bretonnia, after the great plague through Bretonnia, he kind of has this final errantry war. And in the Errantry War, when they march to the aid of the Empire, Lowen kills, I think it's 2 greater demons. He ends up dying ultimately to a greater demon of Nurgle. And Vlad von Karstein finds him, because Vlad is actually on the side of Order, on the side of the Empire. He double crosses Nagash. And he has just like this really cool moment where it's like Vlad comes in, everyone's dead, and there's greater demons dead. It's like, holy shit. This is intense. Like, it's a really, really great little send-off, I think, for him. All right, Hadres is Skaven versus HjalleNalle on the Wood Elves. Karl Franz has a lot of plot armor. He becomes the incarnation of Heavens. Yeah, he bled like fluorescent, and that blood is what hurt and killed the greater demon. Yeah, the Cygnus Prime or whatever the fuck. Yeah, Valton, what a wasted character. They're just setting their armies up real quick, my bros. Checking on something. Alright, they are both ready to go. How many of you guys, 120 you bros checking in here today. Thank you guys all very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. Yeah, Valton was such a good character that just did not come off. They took it and went like, ah, well, shit, fuck it. Like, the not incarnation, I guess like the second coming of Sigmar. Luthor Huss has to go find him. He's like, oh man, this guy just destroyed all these beastmen. It had such a really cool foundation for it that they just did not stick with. Like in the Storm of Chaos, Valton and Archaon fight, and he like gets the upper hand, but then all of a sudden he loses the upper hand, and then Ghazghkull comes in and headbutts him. Or headbutts Archaon and says, I'm the best. Or kicks him in the dick. I'm like, come on, that was dumb. And then when end times, same exact scenario, loses to Archaon, gets killed by Snikch. Like, whatever. Alright, so we're getting set up here. Let's take a look at Hadres playing the Skaven versus HjalleNalle playing the Wood Elves. Wood Elves seem a little bit more set up and a little bit more exciting in this situation here, right? Tony Thankwell is all up in end time, so he got the best send-off. He's in the next one. So, we're going to see a lot of Dryads. Now, Dryads are pretty good. especially against the majority of clan rats and slaves, especially because they cause fear, they're immune to psychology, and they have a physical resistance. So the big thing with Skaven is they do have access to a lot of magic damage, so that is kind of poo-poo, but at the same time they can do a pretty good damage. They're going to be all vanguarding. We're also going to see the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, the Wild Riders Regiment Renown, some Sisters of Thorn, as well as the Wardens of Scythrall, the Wildwood Ranger Regiment Renown, and that looks like Mel Gibson and a Branch Wraith, and that is it. That is it for HjalleNalle's. HjalleNalle? Yeah, HjalleNalle's force. Now, Hadres is meeting this Vanguard head on here. Oh, we also see some backline play. Wild Riders there. Just there. Go when ready. Hadres' force is going to have two Poison Wind Mortars, which are so devastating. 3 units of Skaven Slave Slingers, a unit of Warplock Jezzails, some Skaven Slaves in the backline, Doom Flayers, then a Hell Pit Abomination, good anti-large, good AP, will help out with a lot of these riders are going to be dealing with. Then a front line of Clan Vulcan's Tail Slashers, which are the Regiment Renowned Clan Rats with spears, as well as another summon up of Clan Rats right there. More Clan Rats or Skaven Slaves over here, some Rat Ogres. Man, Doom Flayers more, and we also have Deathmaster's Snikch. So the Poison Wind Mortars already bucking off, chucking down range here into these Dryads, doing lots of damage. We're getting some shots in from the Skaven Slaves, and these Wild Riders are just going to go right through these Sisters of Thorn. I'm sorry. We're going to go right through these Skaven Slave Slingers, and then more action coming on down range from the Wild Riders getting around there. They do have shields in this case, it's going to help them out a lot. Like I was saying, those Dryads eating right through those Skaven Slaves nice and quickly. Ponzi Hairdressers, there's plenty, and the Dryads just getting eaten up over here. The Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers do have flaming damage here. Now, from what I recall, flaming damage is physical. Someone can correct me in the comments below. But they've been taking a lot of Poison Wind Mortar damage. A nice rear charge in from those Wild Riders that were vanguarded earlier. It was a really good play there for HjalleNalle to really shut down a very devastating unit against his army. And they're doing it handedly. They completely whacked out that unit with another charge back over here with the Sisters of Thorn, jumping into this using a Poison Mortars. But look at that, man. That Hell Pit Abomination is looking to just crush things and get in range of stuff. We have a Plague Priest summoning up some more Clan Rats, I believe. Ooh, my. Branch Wraith just being completely surrounded. Branch Wraith is weak to fire, I believe. Yes, it is. So this is not a good matchup for him. He is just eating tons of damage. Hadres is putting a lot of pressure on HjalleNalle with his Skaven, but at the same time, I would say HjalleNalle is doing a really good job of shutting down things very well with his Sisters of Thorn and his Wild Riders. He's not just kind of like throwing them into the front line and saying, hey, whatever, I'll use our charge bonuses. Ooh, Deathmaster Sigil on Orion, locking him down for Deathmaster Snikch to just jump in there and start just going to town on those hooves. He wants to make some bone marrow soup, so he's going to need those disgusting hooves to do so. Hell Pit Abomination shooting its way through all of these Wild Riders and the Sisters of Thorn over here. The Wild Riders of Kurnos just taking tons of damage from that Hell Pit Abomination, AP and anti-large in that bad boy. Orion, though, is actually faring pretty well against Deathmaster Snikch, but now he's honed down on him a little bit more, and he's going to be able to do more damage. Deathmaster is about 50% leadership, though, so Orion is just able to kind of shuck and jive out of all this. Massive Wild Riders charge to relieve Orion here as they kind of put more pressure onto the Hell Pit Abomination. 2 units of Dryads taking the hill here, cresting the hill down into an overflow onto these Skaven here as they deal with the remainder of the Skaven forces. Most of it are tuck, tailing, and run, and it's really down to Deathmaster Snikch over here in this little pocket and the Hell Pit Abomination. And really, I think that Hadres has enough things to deal with this. HjalleNalle has enough things to deal with this. Hadres right now is pretty much down to these 2 units as they kind of deal with the scenarios going on here. And the balanced power bar is still at 50%, but as this Hell Pit Abomination drops in health, we'll start to see that dwindle. Still surrounded here by these the Sisters of Thorn and the Wardens of Kurnos, Wardens of Scythrall, on to Deathmaster Snikch, kind of neutralizing the heavy damage from Deathmaster. Otherwise, you know, this guy does have AP, and he does have that Sunder armor capability, so he'd be doing a lot of damage over to Orion, but Orion was able to get out of that. Uh-oh, Deathmaster Sigil locking him down in place again. But that's okay. You can see that the Branch Wraith staying in... Ooh, a nice Shield of Thorns here, giving some good physical resistance and weapon damage. Now, the Branch Wraith does have a nice ability here. Call of the Woods gives, I believe, 5 or 6 melee attack to everything in a 30-meter radius around, giving that nice melee attack bonus to help out and take out Deathmaster's Snippage. So, Hadres here with a very interesting build of Skaven. Brings a lot of very interesting fighting mechanics to the board. You know, 2 Poison Wind Mortars, I think normally would have done very well in this matchup. But we keep seeing a lot of Wood Elves that go heavy onto melee, using Dryads, using Wild Riders, using Sisters of Thorns, and completely eschewing the use of Wildwood Rangers or any of the Eternal Guard, or Glade Guard. Sorry, Eternal Guard and Spearmen. Glade Guard, or the sniper ones I just can't think of right now. My brain's just not working. But we keep seeing these melee Wood Elf builds, and they're used so well. I like them a lot because it's not necessarily expected, but you can't rule out heavy range play when you're up against Wood Elves. It's very cool to see these heavy melee builds coming to the fore because, like I said, you have to build for both right now. Because the meta is shifted around both of them so heavily, you can't just assume one or the other, or else you leave yourself completely open. But a great win there. HjalleNalle pushing up to 3-1 now against Hadres. Moving into... Power of Hoeth. Is it? There we go. Broke the shield over some Doomsday MacGuffin at Middenheim. Middenheim blew up. What's his name did it? Not Thoric. Ungrim Ironfist went supernova, basically, and, like, blew up Middenheim and all the other people that were there. And, like, it was like a, hey, everyone, get out. Like, take the special portal. It'll get you out of Middenheim. I'm gonna stay here and go, like, sacrifice myself for the greater good. And then, like, in the Battle of the End Times, the elder gods that were alive came back, and like every dead dwarf came back to fight in the end times. It's kind of like the ghost of them and shit like that. It's pretty cool, actually. Now the Ideneth Deepkin, I think so. Right now, I want to play the Lumineth Realm Lords. If Tyrion is not in the Lumineth Realm Lords, though, I am heavily debating not playing the Lumineth Realm Lords and waiting for Tyrion's faction. I don't like Teclis that much. But I really do like the Ideneth Deepkin, and I was going to go with the Ideneth Deepkin before I saw the Lumineth Realm Lords. So it looks like Hadres is going to be playing the Tomb Kings, and HjalleNalle will be playing the Dwarfs. An interesting combination, though. This should be a lot of fun to see how this one kind of pans out here. The Dwarfs have access to tons and tons of ways to deal with the Tomb King constructs. But it'll be a matter of just trying to get into... buy 3 giants to play Sons of Behemoth in the meanwhile. Yeah, seriously, dude. But the Tomb Kings do have a lot of AP up their sleeve across all the Ushabti and ways to disrupt the dwarfs, namely chariots. The one thing that you just cannot deal with as dwarfs. Hey, Pharaoh, what's up, dude? How are you? How are things going over there in Egypt, dude? You guys having a strict supply of a strict ration of hot dogs, my guy? I really want I keep talking about it, but I'll talk about it right now. But the video I'm going to be doing for Age of Sigmar is, so in the end times, Gilles Breton and Abhorrash were seen fighting during the end time. Of course, I still remember that, you sick son of a bitch. They were fighting like back to back with the remainder of the pure blood dragons that did not fall to Khorne, and the remainder of the Grail Knights, kind of fighting off against evil. And the hat war between and what I want to see is, because we don't know what happened to them, they were consumed like in the whole end times, like expanding bubble that just kills everyone. Allie, what's up, man? Allie, we're gonna be streaming Bannerlord tomorrow. We're just playing some Total War Warhammer today, but I'm going to be giving your key away tomorrow. So again, thank you very much, Ali. So guys, if you see in the chat, Ali Denny's, he gave me a key to give away for Bannerlord, which will be given away tomorrow during our stream. But, so Abhorrash and Gilles Breton, we don't know what happened to them. So I imagine something's going to happen where they're the new Knight faction, like, because there's been a rumor that Age of Sigmar will get a tried and true Bretonnia style Knight faction. And the way I could see that working is that it's like a synthesis of vampires and Bretonnian Grail Knights in some form of way. Maybe it's that, okay, in order for the Grail Knights to live, in order for the Blood Knights to live, they had to drink the blood of the Grail Knights. And because they were stuck in some sort of like chaos gate or whatever, it actually didn't kill them. I don't know. I'm fucking tinfoil hat speculating here. But I'd love if there was some sort of like synthesis between those two. What's up, Hugh Gedney? I think people have wanted to see Abhorrash for a long time. I would say he's probably one of... he's probably one of, as far as characters that did not get a model, he's probably one of the favorite heroes or units in all of Warhammer lore, in my opinion. 3-1 alt Swede. So right now, HjalleNalle is up against Hadres 3-1, and it is a best of 7. So if HjalleNalle wins this next one, it'll actually be the end of our best of 7. You too, Hugh. Have a good one, man. Be safe out there, brother. Well, no one. It would make sense in Age of Sigmar. You have tons of larger-than-life models. You have these insane... I mean, so think of... let's take... God damn, what the fuck, man? Teclis is the god of the Lumineth Lords, of Haish. Nagash is the god of Shaiish. So you're getting characters that are their gods for their respective realm. So if Abhorrash and G are the twin gods of whatever the fuck, you know. Yeah, that was Regal Giant. That's in 6th edition. It's one of my favorite. Like the city was lost, but he was winning. So if, I don't know. Let's just say lore of metal. Like they're in ShamWow. What the fuck? What's metal? Shaman. Like, I know that's not where they would be, but I'm saying, like, let's say he was Shaman, and they're the gods of that. Hey, what's up, soldier? How are you doing, man? Thank you for your $1 donation. Ollie, I usually start streams around 11 or 12 Pacific Standard Time. Josh, I just saw that. I've noticed too that the king can just say like, okay, yeah, I'll take it whenever he wants. So it's kind of frustrating with the relationships and how that really works. I think it's just a little bugged right now, and it just needs to get a little bit more love. But hopefully that video gives people an idea at least how to get on the road to getting a castle. Alright, so let's take a look at Hadres' force of skeletons. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of skeleton warriors. Just kind of hold up that front line, while the back line of skeleton archers, 2 units of them, and 2 Shabtis? 2 Shab, that's it? And some Nehekar and horsemen, and then who's over here in the trees? Oh, Kemian war sphinxes, there we go. There we go. And then the Necrotechs over there as well. Then we've got some Carrion. That should pose. I was like, man, that's kind of lackluster. Where's all the points going here? Now, if we take a look at the remaining force, though, for the Dwarfs, we get a nice front line of miners with blasting charges. Looking to just chuck some things down range for HjalleNalle. And then, so now the miners with blasting charges are going to eat up all of these skeleton warriors. I would argue that they will die before they get well within range of anything. I think they'll just kind of get melted by these blasting charges. But we're going to see some Ulthar's Raiders. Now, the nice thing about Ulthar's Raiders here is that they've got this really awesome ability that increases ranged damage. Missile resistance reduction, missile parry reduction, and a reduction in armor. So, you use the Ulthar's Raiders, target a model, let's just say Cetra the Imperishable, and you have all of your range fire, focused fire on him. And Ulthar's Raiders start stocked. So it is kind of nice right there. They're kind of hidden. But this Doom Bubble here, this Death Star, is riding in through the right side, pretty dirty. The Giant Slayers do have access to AP and anti-large, so he does have to watch out those from HjalleNalle. Right into these Ushabti as they just get a good charge in. More of Ulthar's Raiders chucking axes from the Rangers over here. Miners with blasting charges retreating through these dwarf warriors. A nice screening move there by Jalle. I kind of like that. That's pretty cool, pretty unique. We have a little bit of a stall up here though with the Kemian war sphinxes. I think Hadres has to get those into combat as fast as possible. Ushabti over here getting supported by the skeleton warriors, but for the most part, they've shut down this unit of miners, and they just need to get pushing through that and into this juicy Thunderer's backline. More blasting charges ripping into these units over there. Necrotechs riding dirty through the back line over there doing some damage. And that's a big thing with these chariots. They can do so much damage as long as you keep them constantly moving. The Nehekar and horsemen over here somewhere? Yeah, over here getting mucked up by these dwarf warriors. Now the Nehekar and horsemen are the better version of these skeleton horsemen. They'll be able to do a little bit of damage, stay in damage a little bit longer. Second round of the Well of Souls kicking off, getting some good healing and regeneration going on. And the Ushabti over here are on their last little model, I think. Down to 5 models left at 680 health. Another charge in from skeleton horsemen over here, hitting right into these Thunderers. A good charge from Hadres, trying to shut down some of the more crucial things that could threaten his army. Now, the Blessed Blade of Petra dropping down here, giving some good increase to that fire damage. But really, he's got to get rid of these Rangers with Great Weapons. They do have AP damage, so they can do quite a bit. And it's really that Ulthar's Raiders' big ability there is what you really don't want to deal with. Gonna make more videos of shots of my undercarriage? Yeah, man, Achilles only knows one thing. Undercarriage. What is this, Ungrim? No, Grombrindal the White Dwarf. Coming over there for the ass of that lovely Kemian War Sphinx. That felt better. I'm gonna get that a little bit out there. And what initially looked like a pretty challenging fight for Hadres has actually kicked off a little bit better. He does have to worry about some of these elements like the Giant Slayers or the Thunderers really doing a lot of concerted damage to Cetra the Imperishable, and he has to get some damage onto these Ulthar's Raiders, which I think we're going to see right now with this summon up of Ushabti, probably back here onto these Ulthar's Raiders. But they still do have the White Dwarf over there in pretty good health. A nice amount of volley fire coming out here, doing good damage into these Giant Slayers. They don't have the amount of armor to take shots from range. So you can see that Hadres is using those skeleton archers to just focus them down and get them out of the fight, hitting these the larger bracket over here. Thunderers do have a clear shot into this Cairnwood War Sphinx and doing a lot of good damage to that. Other one over here just kind of wildly running through everything. Looks like they used the Ushabti against this other version of the, or I'm sorry, the other Dragonback Slayers over there, trying to bring them down. Uthar's Raiders, though, looking to chase down Mighty Cetra. Probably looking to give him that debuff so they can focus more damage onto him. Skeleton Warriors holding the line as best they can. But they're just kind of crumbling apart now at this point. An overwhelming amount of miners just swarming over them. The Cairnwood War Sphinx has taken a lot of combined damage here. Skeleton Archers finishing off more into these Ulthar's Raiders. So I like how Hadres has been pivoting his Skeleton Archers to get some good damage out. They're just about out of ammunition, so this charging from the Dwarf Warriors isn't too damning. Trying to focus down damage onto this unit of Grombrindal, not the unit of Grombrindal. And look at that, Cetra, marked by Ulthar, trying to get out of this fight. He does have Nero's Incantation on him to try and mitigate some of that damage. There is still one Cairnwood War Sphinx, and there are two Necrotechs with chariots that are still alive, but the balance power bar is shifting in favor of HjalleNalle, who just has the upper hand now by sheer numbers alone. He can really put in a lot of damage onto these Ushabti and onto these constructs at this point. But I think it's going to be a game HjalleNalle right now. It's Teddy Bear and finish. I can't remember what he is. Whew. Whew. There we go. Oof. Another dropping of Jaf's Incantation of Cursed Blades, as well as Nero's Incantation of Protection, helping out there for Cetra, as the other Cairnwood War Sphinx just dives dirty into these Thunderers here. A Hadab on their back, shooting into Grombrindal over there, and I think that this is a really big move here because they finally shut down the range play from the dwarfs almost entirely, and they are out of. Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. The giant slayers are right here. Like, they're out of giant slayers. There's. I was like, I saw two axes. There he is. Dragonback slayers as well. So two nice sized units of slayers looking to do some big damage. Chasing after this unit of Cetra the Imperishable. Look at them just waving their axes. They got their disco pajama pants, their hammer pants going wild. No, Flying Dutchman, they mo-capped me. They mo-capped me for the movement on the Cairnwood War Sphinxes. Now, the unfortunate thing is if Cetra were to fall right now, then the rest of the army should explode pretty shortly after. Necrotechs will kind of keep it together a little bit, but as with all undead factions, as soon as they lose their lord, it's pretty much game over for the most part. We'll see how that kind of goes here. Balance power bar is pretty wildly in favor of HjalleNalle as we push further and further into this fight. And it is a wild one here today. We have seen some pretty interesting matches. We've seen some fun builds, and we've seen some close ones. The build I think I liked the most, though, was the Wood Elf build, going very heavy into Wild Riders and Dryads. It's not something that we haven't seen before, of course, but I really liked it. And I think I really enjoyed that Chaos build from HjalleNalle by basically countering the opinion that, hey, I'm not going to take a bunch of Chaos Warriors, I'm taking a bunch of Chaos Knights. I really liked that approach. Hey, you suckers is upset, because today you got served. Hi, what's up? Hello from Indonesia. Grudging. This Cairnwood War Sphinx, though, is still in good health. I could run like a cat so easily. But guys, I'm so nimble. Watch, I'll jump into this fucking closet wall right now just for Catwoman. Jumping right over here, right into Grombrindal. Look at the beard on this pussy. Woo! Take that in the face, Grombry. I'll get allergic to myself. So, I mean, the balanced power bar is obviously heavily in HjalleNalle's favor, but he has so many access to Giant Slayers right now. If he still had the archers to take apart those Slayers, this fight actually could go the way of Hadres. But I think, unfortunately now, with the Giant Slayers and the Slayers in this fight, I think that this is probably much going to go to Big Bad HjalleNalle. Echo yours now? No, how dare you? Terrified Grombrindal about to come back from this one. But not from the dreaded pouncing. 448 health. I just love the animation of this thing. Ripping through stuff. Confetti jumping off the back of that fucking thing. And it has happened. It is HjalleNalle pulling up ahead now, 4-1 against Hadres in this best of 7. So, here's up to 4. So, I hope you guys enjoy this little foray into some fun competitive Total War. I know it was kind of missing on the channel, so I wanted to put some up. I do have some quick battles I can jump into, too, throughout the week. Hey, $4 from Soldier. A total of 5 from Soldier. He wanted HjalleNalle to win, and Jalle did win. Thank you very much, Soldier. You're our first donation here today, so I really appreciate it, man. But we'll be concluding our stream here today. Let me go ahead and roll our credits. But a great little bout here by HjalleNalle and Hadres. I do have. We've only been streaming for an hour and a half. Really? Josh, I am going to stream tomorrow. I'm going to be doing another stream for Bannerlord, and I'm going to give away a key for Bannerlord. So we'll do a giveaway plus the key. But we'll do some more Bannerlord throughout the week. I've got some 40k content. Hey, Ignis, dropping £2 my way. Thank you very much, man. Our second donation of the day. So, huge shout out to both Ignis and Soldier for your donations. We'll be doing some 40k lore throughout this week. We haven't been doing 40k in some time. I'm going to be doing a video on Ragnar Blackmane and his updated lore. We'll also be covering, what's his name? The Great Khan, either this weekend or shortly after that. But we'll have plenty of Bannerlord content throughout the week as well as some more other fun stuff that I can kind of dig up and get on the channel here for you guys. But hopefully you're enjoying these streams here. Hey, Ali dropping another one at me. What is CHF? Czechoslovakian franc? What? Besiege tomorrow, Spartacus. No! Donate 1 second. No, just Tony, don't even worry about it. You never ever feel compelled to donate. You do not need to do that. CHF is a Swiss franc? Oh. It's CHF. That's me. But thank you very much, Ali. I appreciate it, man. I take your money. I take it, alright? I'm fucking sorry. I'm just saying don't feel compelled to. You don't have to. I do this because it's fun. I like to interact with you guys. It breaks the doldrum of recording videos and talking to myself all day. So hopefully it is enjoyable for y'all to watch. Federation Helvetic rank. Oh, Helvetica, like the font. Got it, okay. Second tournaments. Actually, this was originally supposed to be Flying Taco and Exploding Hamster. And we'll be doing that one instead throughout the week. We'll probably get another one going as well. I'll figure out who to get going. We'll do some more of these best of sevens. Turin's got some streams coming up tomorrow, I believe. I think he wanted to do a Bannerlord one tomorrow too. So we'll have plenty of fun on both of our channels. You can find more Total War content also on Loremaster Sotek's channel, all over the place, guys. Oh, also we'll be doing another Hammercast. Loremaster Sotek and I have plenty to talk about. Yeah, Hannah, I will absolutely do another lore. Age of Sigmar lore video. I'm either going to do Slaves of Darkness or Bloodhounds of Khorne next. No problem. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a little another $2 or £2 donation. It's a little rich land in the middle of Europe. You mean the neutral one? Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate it, Ali. And remember, guys, give a huge shout out to Ali. He did give us that Bannerlord key to give away tomorrow, so I'm really stoked on that. And thank you very, very much, Ali. Thanks for a video on the new sister. Which new sister? Oh, on what's her name? Yeah, I have. Got this. This is the new Valdor book. And I believe that this one is... Oh, shit. I'm stoked to read this. I got it because it's kind of like a Primarch series. Yeah, Horus Heresy. So, I haven't read this yet. But, it looked like it was like a Primarch series level book. Because it only has about like 200 pages, and they're all like... they're all pretty like... That's not a big intimidating page at all. I'm excited to read this because I know that it covers Valdor, but it's also written by Chris Wright, and Chris Wright is probably Chris Wright is probably one of the more. Chris Wright is like early Warhammer lore is to William King as current Warhammer lore is to Chris Wright. Chris Wright has picked up almost every major thing that William King used to do, and he does it really well. William King was the master of Space Wolves, and he did them a good justice. Chris Wright now does them very well. Chris Wright writes tons of White Scar stuff, and he just crushes it. Like, Aaron Dembski-Bowden, I think, covers Chaos better than any writer for the most part. So I loved his books on the Black Legion, his Night Lords trilogy, and his books on like the Horus Heresy books that he covers. Master of Mankind is a little bit weaker in my opinion because he deals with such a cosmically large concept such as the Emperor. So yeah, I know, Ali. It was a shorter one today. I didn't know it would be so quick. But thank you for just making it rain today on me, man. Another 2 francs. I know it's not those. But I'm stoked to read that, but I have to finish this this White Scars book first. That is my priority. Yeah, I do really like Master of Mankind. And I think what makes Master of Mankind really good is like dealing with the shit in the webway. That's like the biggest part of it, I'd say. Guy Haley is really good too. Guy Haley crushed Blood Angels. He did a really good job. I really liked his Blood Angel interpretation. But alright guys, we're going to be closing our stream down here today. This actually gives me a little time to work on my lore video for Ragnar Blackmane, as well as some more Bannerlord stuff that I'm working on too. But if you do have any other questions about anything, as always, go ahead and leave me a comment below. And don't forget to check out the Discord if you do want to get invested in the tournament scene for Total War Warhammer. A huge shout out to HjalleNalle and Hadres for putting this together with me last minute. I asked them like 20 minutes before I went live, and they're like, yeah, sure, sounds good. So again, guys, thank you all very much for watching here today. Huge shout out to Ali, Soldier, and Ignis for your donations here, guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. Always very huge to me. And we'll be having another stream tomorrow with Bannerlord. But as always, have a good one, take care, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a look at that. Damn right you gotta look at that book, bro. One's Invasion of Terra was really good. Okay, just making sure I got everything here. Alright guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow on a Bannerlord stream. We'll probably do like another 3 or 4 hour Bannerlord stream, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.